I hit 1,000 subs on YouTube recently. A month ago. Probably more than that by now. Am I supposed to add more to this intro, or... Yeah, whatever. Let's just start Q&A time because I'm an original. What's your favorite Sonic water level? Okay, look. I get that everyone also loves Hydrocity Zone, but it is not that good. Also, yes, you didn't hear me wrong. It's Hydrocity. It sounds cooler. Anyways, the thing is with Hydrocity Zone is that you still have to deal with the unfun water physics. Not to mention, Hydrocity has its own other weird bits of platforming that I just don't get. Like, yes, I love waiting for moving platforms to move, except you don't move with the platforms, huh? This is all to say, my favorite Sonic water level is Aquatic Ruin Zone, because you can just skip all the water. Who is your favorite Sonic tuber? In parentheses, can't include yourself. Don't worry, I wasn't going to. Anyways, I haven't really thought of that all too much. I watch Sonic YouTube, but I haven't really ranked any as my favorite. So here's some that I do really enjoy in no particular order. Sam Procrastinates, Cybershell, Al the Boy, and Radical Soda. And there's obviously more of them, but I can't really list all of them in this. I do kind of feel weird calling any YouTuber a Sonic tuber, since it does feel kind of restrictive, especially if they don't do Sonic exclusively. Really, that list I just gave is YouTubers that do a good amount of Sonic stuff, but not YouTubers that exclusively do Sonic stuff. What's your favorite video that you've uploaded so far and why? Ooh, a difficult one for someone who has the statistic of low self-esteem. Jokes aside, this is kinda easy. My favorite is probably the jump dash versus double jump video. It has a good balance of me talking about something oddly specific about the Sonic franchise I wanted to talk about, and some animated story stuff. The way I want to handle a lot of my bigger videos going forward is going to be similar to that. The way I see it is kind of like a show or something, but lamer. Where you have the main A plot and then the secondary B plot. Except with this, the A plot is some crazy person yelling about Sonic into a mic, and the B plot is some crazy person yelling about Sonic to people outside and or some unrevealed evil entity. What specs is your computer and what software do you use to draw? I've been trying to say this for so goddamn long now. I'm trying to make it sound like an actual question, but I can't do it. I'm not a hardware person, so my computer specs or whatever was powerful enough to run Half-Life Alyx at high settings in 2020. That's literally the only big reason I got any sort of upgrade. That and other VR games. I'm sure the better hardware helps in other ways though. As for software to draw, most art on this channel is done using Paint.net, which isn't ideal drawing software, but given the basic style of this channel, it works perfectly fine. For my own personal art, however, along with the one frame-by-frame animation I've done for this channel before, I use Krita, since it's more in-depth software made specifically for art. Both of these programs are free and open source too, so if you feel like trying them, go ahead. Though, Paint.net's website looks very, old. I won't blame you for not quite trusting that one, actually. When's the new animation coming? When's the new animation coming? What? Hap, this is my Sonic channel. Also, we have each other added on Discord. Wait! No, this is actually perfect! I get to show off! Here is my next work in progress animation, along with some other animations I've made. Haha, thank you, Hap, for letting me show off.
Ooh, you're good. Too good. I'm bored.
How many do I have? Let me find out.
You made me.
Will you ever finish a mob survival game? Why are my friends in here asking me stuff no one watching this channel even gets? The thing's already finished. We finished it a day ago. Oh wait, this comment was 3 weeks ago. Still, why? Are you enjoying doing these contents even if you're suffering? Suffering? Who says I'm suffering? I'm doing just fine. What do you think of the idea of classic Sonic being a different version of the character and not the past version of Sonic? I don't like it. I mean, classic Sonic's design being younger Sonic is a cute idea, but I'm not too big on that either. It was fine in Generations, but past that I just prefer it to be 2 different art styles or something. I don't really care all that much though, as long as classic Sonic isn't Sonic from a different dimension or whatever. I'm fine with it just being a different art style or a different age, it doesn't really bother me either way. Well, you know, with the exception of us now having debates about how there's a 2D Sonic game that should be modern instead of classic or classic instead of modern, and same goes for 3D. Like, in what way would a modern Sonic 2D game be different from a classic Sonic 2D game? I guess there's the Rush games, but then you also have the advanced games, which are modern I suppose, but the gameplay is still the same as the Genesis games. I don't know, the arguments that come about because of the divide are just kind of confusing to me. Why like funny cat as cute haha mascot? Well, you know, I like animal characters and cats are cool. Yup, nothing, Do you think Sonic or Mario would win in a fist fight? No one-ups or boosts. And why? Oh, so you're asking for a death battle moment. No, I'm kidding, that's not what I'm going for. Wait, yes it is. Except here, one character won't pull out some obscure-ish power-up that just wins the battle out of nowhere for some reason. Anyways, I think Sonic would... Wait. Oh, wait, just a fist fight? Nothing else? Right. I saw that the first time, totally. Sonic would win because, he would punch faster. And he would totally win against a guy who can just punch right through bricks. I definitely read the fist fight part of this when I started thinking about it. What does the perfect Sonic game look like to you? I, don't know, actually. I've always kind of dreamed about my perfect Sonic story and characterization or whatever, but I haven't really dreamed of what my favorite game mechanics for a Sonic game would be. The characters and world building is really what has kept me a fan for so long. So if you'll excuse me for a second, I'm probably about to say I'd like something that I wouldn't actually like all that much when or if it ever becomes a thing. But my ideal Sonic game would probably be story and characters being written first before gameplay, with gameplay and levels being built based off of the story, where the actual gameplay is a mix of Sonic Frontiers' open zones and the fan game Sonic GT's controls, maybe with a bit tweaked of controls, with levels that are actually packed with actually built into the environment platforming challenges rather than just flowing platforms. I'll also have cyberspace type levels that are as good as the open zone, that way I have something to replay for years on end. Oh, also on the topic of story, it'd be a mix of Sonic Unleashed's tone and Sonic Adventure 2's tone, with characterization similar to Merv Sonic the Hedgehog. Who's your favorite Sonic character? Ooh, you know? I haven't really thought of it enough to have a definitive favorite. There's just too many good characters here. I guess I'll have to resort to the second in no particular order list. Anyway, some of my favorites are Cream the Rabbit, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Jet the Hawk. A bit of a weird list, I will admit. You have some innocent child character, then the serious holds guns character, and then the most self-absorbed Sonic character you can think of. I love them. How did you come up with your persona/character? Oh, heck yeah. Now this is something I wanted to answer and something I can go on about for a while. But I'll have to limit myself from talking about my OC's entire life story on this Sonic channel. Just a bit though. So picture me during 2020. Back when I had been getting back into Sonic after not being so big of a fan of him for maybe like a year-ish, maybe a bit less, because of the Sonic movie. This being the time I was starting to get back into Sonic, I soon discovered the Sonic IDW comics, and eventually Whisper the Wolf, who has to be my favorite IDW Sonic character. Anyways, I was inspired to create my own character because of Whisper's design. My previous experience with character design up to this point had been a bunch of Sonic recolors and Portal Eye Swap OCs, and one somewhat original, although generic, hooded character. So it probably wouldn't turn out all that good. Anyways, turns out my second time trying to make an actually original character design would result in the best character design I've ever made, at least on a somewhat technical level, if that even exists for art. Of course this isn't the final, very much better version of the design, but it definitely was a framework for the final design. Anyway, some time goes by and whoa, it's already early 2021! And I'm super into Sonic Robo Blast 2. I would spend days playing on servers, playing through the campaign with mods on those servers and everything. Mainly character mods. I ended up wanting to make my own character mod for it, only to realize that there's like 400 sprites I need to replace. I ended up making art for the default pose along with an idle pose, and I really ended up liking the result. And oh hey look, it's the character I made earlier, except way better. I ended up setting it to my profile picture and it just kinda stuck without me meaning for it to. After making the character, I'd end up taking art more seriously and I'd use the character more and make more characters and such. The big thing that has really changed over time has really just been the color palette getting more vibrant. The character as well as my progression with drawing them over time has also had some accidental symbolic meaning that I, and even some of my friends have pointed out before. I won't get into that here since I've already been going on for a while, but if you can figure it out, good for you. What are your expectations for Sonic Movie 3? I don't know, Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation, but in the same way the Sonic Movie 2 adaptation is an adaptation of Sonic 3? I really am quite excited for it. I just don't have too many expectations for it aside from it being able to get Shao's characterization right, which I'm sure they'll do considering the movie team's track record so far. Would you ever make a video covering Project 06? Maybe when the game's fully finished, yeah. As of right now though, probably not. I do really want to make some videos on other specific fan projects, so I definitely will make videos on fan games and such. Just usually if they're finished or haven't been talked about so much already. Which 3 Sonic characters do you think would make for the most interesting main characters in a new game? Okay, so I'm going to be thinking of this from a character standpoint rather than a gameplay standpoint, but I think a game revolving around 3 sidekick type characters that are in-universe overlooked in some way could make for some really interesting interactions and story. Though I'm not quite sure which characters I would choose for this. Tails for sure. Maybe also Rouge, though she's becoming more of a main cast character as of recent for some reason. So maybe a better Team Dark character to choose would be Omega, especially since Tails could have some neat interactions with Omega, given his interest in machinery and such. And for the third character? I don't know. Maybe Charmy, since he is pretty young and very overlooked, but I'm not quite sure how many people would want a game to revolve around him at all. Though who knows, maybe a game like this could turn that around and add some depth to his character. But also at the same time for gameplay variety that'd throw off the balance of character types, since then you'd have 2 flying characters and then 1 power character. Still though, I think some sort of story revolving around characters that often feel secondary could make for a really good story. Especially if Tails is really going off on his own after Frontiers, this could help build his arc. Okay, well I guess Omega wouldn't really feel secondary since he only really cares about murdering Eggman, but I think that could just create for a cooler dynamic. I'm not sure though. How were you first introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog? This one's a bit difficult since I don't entirely remember just because of how young I was. I was introduced to Sonic probably around late 2010 to early 2012. From what I remember, which may be very little, my dad would show me retro games and at some point he decided to show me Sonic, and I was immediately super into Sonic. What is your favorite game from last year? If you mean in terms of Sonic games, I don't know. I could really only play 2 from 2023, and that was Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and Superstars. I guess Superstars? Maybe? I don't really know. If you mean just any game released in 2023, I'll be honest, I didn't really play many new games last year. However, one game I played right at the end of the year that I really loved was Undertale Yellow. Yes, it's not an official game, it's a fan game, but dang it, that's still a game. Undertale Yellow is an Undertale prequel fan game that was in development for 7 years and it really shows. This game is such a fun time and it's all for free, which is just insane to me. I know you were probably expecting something a bit more official, probably a bit more mainstream or something, but nope, Undertale Yellow is my favorite game from 2023. What are your top 10 favorite games? Honestly, I kinda stopped keeping track of such a list of my favorite games, so while I will give you a list of what I think my top 10 favorite games are, just know that this list changes a lot and will probably be inaccurate in maybe just even a few months. Number 10 is Celeste, I think, maybe? I beat the main story, but I never really got further into the DLC and such. I'm gonna be honest, so for the games lower on this list, I'm more unsure about their placement. Still though, Celeste is a really fun platformer with great stories. I can't speak. You get as great characters and story and stuff. Number 9 is Castle Crashers. I remember spending all of my 2018 summer playing this constantly. I'm not even kidding when I say me and a friend would literally spend half the day playing this game sometimes. Number 8 is A Hat in Time, which literally has perfect 3D platformer controls. I don't care what anyone says, these controls never feel buggy or unpredictable. When I lose, it never feels like it's the game's fault. Seriously, the controls for this game are so satisfying. Number 7 is Half-Life Alyx, the perfect VR game that Valve just kind of made one day just for them to never do anything again. I'm kidding, I know game development takes time and there are leaks for more Valve games, I know there's still more to come. Number 6 is One Shot, which I don't even want to talk about because the less you know about this game, the better. If you like puzzles and good characters and story, then go play this game. Number 5 is Chicory A Colorful Tale because artist moment. Number 4 is Deltarune, which I don't even think I need to explain because everyone already knows this game. The fact that it's my 4th favorite game of all time while still not even being finished says a lot. Number 3 is Team Fortress 2, which is...
Good shot, mate.
Number 2 is Portal 2 because 1, a portal gun is so insanely cool and the puzzles are so creative, and 2, the world building and characters and story is so perfect that this channel used to be a secondary Portal original character role-playing channel. No, seriously. And my favorite game is Sonic Unleashed because I have bad taste. Jokes aside, my reasons for liking this game aren't any different from anyone else's reasons for liking this game and this fandom, so I don't really feel the need to do much explaining here. And that's all the questions I got. Excluding any unlucky questions that may have come in after I finished putting together the video. In all seriousness, thank you all for 1,000 subs and consistent views. I never really thought I'd have, like, more than 2 people actually listen to me rant on about something I'm super interested in, so yeah, that's cool I guess. And since this is a low-effort Q&A video, I don't need to come up with a creative ending.